This regular scheduled school board meeting. Before we begin the work of the district, let us stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey. Superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see all of you. Board, do you have any changes to tonight's agenda?
I did not recheck 11.2. Should we pull that one? Do you remember?
Well, that one's already under discussion, and so we've got that policy. I know there were some questions on that, and I'll ask Mr. Johnson to address those when we get to that item.
Okay, we're good.
Right, and you were added 9.01, that's an HR item that was added today, so you have a copy of that. So with no other changes, I recommend approval of the minutes from the special school board meeting September 9th, 2021, executive session for collective bargaining September 13th, 2021, the special meeting public hearing of the final budget on September 13th, 2021, the regular school board meeting September 13th, 2021, and the regular school board meeting September 27th, 2021.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. Okay.
All right, we're going to start off with our main event tonight, and that's the recognition of all of our 2020-2021 STEAM schools. And so I'll ask Ms. Cockcroft to come forward and recognize those schools that are here tonight to celebrate.
Good evening, Chairman, Superintendent, board members. We are very excited to recognize our schools that have earned these STEAM awards from last year, a very difficult year, but still being able to accomplish so much through this program. So I would like to start by asking Tracy Wood, the K-5 program specialist and for math, and Kelly Dodd, the K-5 program specialist for science, to come up here and prepare. They're going to hand out the awards. First, I'm going to tell you the elementary requirements. In order to get the STEAM school recognition in elementary school, you had to have monthly multi-grade participation in a STEAM school level professional learning community. You had to have problem-based learning experiences in STEAM lessons and challenges, integrating science, technology, engineering, math, and art provided at all grade levels. STEAM Bowl team practice documentation, participation in a STEAM Bowl competition for grades 3 through 5, school and district science and engineering fair participation in K-5 classrooms, and host a school-based STEAM night. We're going to start with the schools earning gold STEAM awards, and they have earned this with full participation from all of their students in grades 3 through 5 for their science projects. So I'm also going to ask Dr. Emily Feltner to come up and help us with these awards. What I would like to do is to have them come up, be recognized, maybe come through and get recognition from you all. They can exit out, and then we can do the next group, the next elementary group, and then we'll finish up with the middle and high, if that's okay. So I'm going to turn it over to Tracy and to Kelly.
Good evening. The first group we're going to recognize are the Gold STEAM schools, starting with Astatula Elementary. Claremont Elementary.
Congratulations.
And if all the schools could wait in the lobby afterwards so we can take a group picture, please. Cypress Ridge Elementary.
Congratulations.
Grassy Lake Elementary.
Congratulations.
Rhymes Early Learning Center. Spring Creek Charter. Tavares Elementary.
Great.
Treadway Elementary,
Good to see you. It's going well. Yeah, where you been?
Triangle Elementary,
Congratulations.
and Umatilla Elementary.
Congratulations. Hey. Congratulations. Congratulations.
In addition to these Gold STEAM School Awards, we made a special category this year for STEAM School with the requirements. Some schools just did not have the ability to require every student last year in the midst of a pandemic to have the science fair. So we wanted to recognize schools that met all the other criteria with the optional science fair as well with the STEAM School Awards. So
And these schools are Eustis Elementary, Eustis Heights Elementary, Fruitland Park Elementary,
Good job.
Groveland Elementary, Imagine South Lake Charter, Lost Lake Elementary, and finally Pine Ridge Elementary.
Congratulations. Hey, how are you? You're welcome.
while we are transitioning
Congratulations.
to allow the middle and high school representatives in, I also want to recognize the hard work of Mrs. Wood and Mrs. Dodd in facilitating all of these events and criteria that they manage with all of the schools. So thank you to both of them as well. At this time, I'm going to ask Ms. Sonia Blackstone to come forth. She is the 6 through 12 science program specialist. So let the middle and high schools get in. Are they all in? All right, thank you. I would like to go over the criteria for middle and high school. In order for them to receive the Gold STEAM School Award, they had to participate in a STEM-related competition. High school teams participate in Math Olympics at Lake Sumter State College. Middle school participate in Math Counts or STEAM Bowl. Many of them do both. They also have to have STEM practice where the students meet at least twice a month, and they have to have documentation of all of the work, lesson plans, and pictures. The school science fair had to have participation by January 2021, and the projects could be individual, team, or class projects completed in grades 6 through 8 or 9 through 12. And then STEM family nights, they may be at the same as the science fair, but they had to have the criteria of both. Create student STEM-related displays and presentations, engage in hands-on activities aligned to content standards directed by classroom teachers, invite industry-certified professional speakers, and then have problem-based learning experiences integrating math, science, and other subjects provided at all grade levels. Conduct a minimum of 4 collaborative problem-solving learning experiences integrating technology, documented per grade level with many of the resources provided as well. So, Ms. Blackstone.
Thank you. We are going to start with our middle schools, and at first we have East Ridge Middle School. Next is Eustis Middle School. Gray Middle School. Umatilla Middle School. And Windy Hill Middle School. And for our high schools, we have the Gold STEAM School, and I have to kind of give a shout out Southlake High School, from the beginning, since we've started this for high schools, they have had a STEAM Gold, and they have one again this year. So Southlake High School. And our other high school is East Ridge High School.
And again, I would like to recognize Ms. Blackstone and all the work that she puts into these awards as well. Thank you so much. We're so proud of all of these schools and can't wait to see how many are going to continue this next year.
Next is Ms. Owens with our district spotlight. Oh. All right, well then we're going to start our district spotlight.
The Rock at Leesburg High School means so much to our school and our community. It is truly a place of refuge for our students to come and get all of the supplies that they need to be successful, not only at high school, but beyond Leesburg High School as well. With the help of our community, everything in the Rock has been donated for our Jacket family, and we would like to thank Miss Lori Humphrey for her guidance and support and leadership in running a very successful Rock program for us.
We're very excited to be the pilot program for Lake County Schools. The ROC program started in Marion County under the vision of Rondo Fernandez, who is the owner of Mojo Grill. He wanted a place where students could come on campus and have their needs met, whether it was needing simple items of school supplies or hygiene or clothing or food to take home or simply a place to come and take a breather. We make it where we're very accessible to the kids. We are open from 8:30 to 2:30 every day, and we always say the kids just need to have a purpose and a pass. They get a pass from their teacher, they come down, we do what we call Shop the Rock if they need certain items, because we know some kids don't have everything that they need at home, and we keep it very discreet. Sometimes they'll come and add items to their bag, and then we'll just keep it for them for the rest of the day so they're not walking around, with a bag of groceries. So just, a little bit of dignity sometimes when you need to do that. Everything you see in here has been donated. We are completely community funded. From the furniture I'm sitting on, to the shampoo that goes home, to even the food that comes in. As we know, some students do not have the financial stability as other students do. We wanted a place where our students could come and make sure they have all of the resources necessary to be successful in their classes. Sometimes it's just a pencil or a backpack, but other times it's food. You can't focus on your academics if you're hungry. You can't focus on history or science if you're worried about where you're going to sleep at night. We always try to look at the student and what they're facing today, but also what they might face in the future. And we know sometimes they can't get past today because of the circumstances that they're in. So we try to build a bridge wherever their path may take them, whether it's college or career or military. We want to make sure that they have the resources to do whatever goal they have set for themselves. So whether it's needing a pencil or needing food to take home or just someone to listen or to help them with their homework that day, we want to make sure that we're available whenever they need it. And we find that we have a population of students that we call homeless unaccompanied. When I first came to Leesburg High School, I met one of those wonderful VIPs, is what we call them. He came into the Rock just simply needing a jacket at the time. And the more I was able to talk to him, I realized he didn't have anywhere to sleep. He was doing what we call couch surfing. He would go to whoever's couch would open their door that night. We were able to find a way for him to finish his high school, have a regular place to reside, as well as get further skills as an electrician. He calls me once in a while to give me an update on where he is. And the last time he called, he had mentioned that he had finished all of his certifications in electricity and is now working for one of our local electricians as a full-time job. Meet them where they are today, but follow them into the future and make sure that they're successful citizens and maybe even come back later to mentor one of the kids here.
All right. I wanna Thank you, Ms. Owens, and Thomas, for your hard work on getting our spotlight together, and congratulations to Leesburg High School and to this community effort that is meeting the needs of our kids there through the ROC program. So it's a great show of what the community does when they come together to meet the needs of our students. So thank you to everyone who's involved in that project. We're now going to move on down, and Ms. Cullenbat, if you want to go ahead and give your report, and then we'll come back to public input.
Good evening, Chairman, School Board, Superintendent. Apple Mart has had 267 teacher visits, and we've distributed $20,000 worth of supplies. Last Friday, with the help of the Eustis Baseball Stars, we moved locations. We're still on the same Eustis Middle School campus, but we're in a different location, and it is closer up front. And we got a call today from the Mount Dora's Women's Club, and they had 14 cases of copy paper, which is absolutely gold for our teachers. So we hurried out and got that, so we're excited. We've received grants from Clay Electric for $5,000, and we're expecting an award from County Materials, which will be earmarked for our construction academy at Southlake High School. We've had to place another order of water bottles. We had a few schools that came in with requests, so I have 600 left in inventory if there are any schools out there that need them. We received the nomination forms for all of our Teacher of the Year, school-related employee, and rookie teachers now, and the packets for the nominees will be going out this week, and judging will start right before Christmas for our Teachers of the Year. Casey Edmondson, who has been with our Take Stock program for a little over 3 years, applied for the position we had open in the foundation and has accepted the position, and she's currently doing both jobs until we can get the Take Stock position replaced. Education Day for the Renaissance Fair has been canceled on November 5th, but we have offered all employees and students a $5 admission on Saturday, the November 6th. Our art departments from Tavares High School and Leesburg High School are coming to the site this week to paint the dragons on the Dragon Maze, the Unicorn Castle, the Castle Game, and our construction academy at Southlake High School is building a real live gypsy wagon, so we're excited to see that. We still have over 100 drama students that are working diligently every single Saturday to learn about the history and their roles, and they'll be entertaining our patrons. And the culinary departments at Southlake High School, Umatilla, Lake Tech, Mount Dora, and Leesburg are going to be cooking every single turkey leg, and last year there were $80,000 worth of turkey legs. The golf tournament on Friday is at Mission Inn, and it is completely sold out. Hans and Kay Jacobson were the presenting sponsor, with Wharton Smith and Electric Services as the primary sponsors, but they are joined with 21 other sponsors. It's going to be the best golf tournament we've had in about 8 years. We have 3 companies that have agreed to join in and do toy drives in their businesses. Jenkins has been doing it for years, but there are 2 other companies that have agreed to jump in, and we're asking for unwrapped toys for our homeless, and we'll be picking those up on December 14th. Our next board meeting is scheduled October 27th at noon, and we will be installing Don Marks. Are there any questions?
Oh, great work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll now begin public input. And before we begin, I just want to say that this school board welcomes all of you to this meeting. Great turnout. This time is set aside for the citizens of Lake County to address the school board. This will not be a question or answer time. It will not be a political forum, nor is it a time for personal accusations or derogatory remarks to or about school personnel. If you would like to address the school board, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and limit your comments to no more than 3 minutes. Your participation is welcome. So we'll start. We first have Dr. Tibbetts.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, Superintendent Cornegay. It's nice to be back in a calmer environment than the past recent meetings. I just have one question today, and I'm sure it might be a function of being an older person. But item 8.09 is part of a consent agenda to spend $1.6+ million. I read this, and one of the highlights in the description of it is, oh, and you can take a camera so that all the students can see other students' work. I grew up when you weren't supposed to look at other people's work and pay attention doing what you're doing yourself. I know that technology is an important thing in our schools, but sometimes I think you can get carried away. I don't know about all the details of this, but when it comes up, I hope it gets pulled from the consent agenda. And I would like to see your comments about why this is so important to do. Thank you again for your time and mostly for your service.
Thank you. Mr. Maurice Campbell? Zoom also.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening to the board. My name is Maurice Campbell, and I'm the track and field coach at Lake Minion High School, and also the cross-country coach as well. I'm here today to actually speak on behalf of some accusation against my team, along with some of the teams here, and a part of Lake Minion High School. I just want to make it clear, but before I make it clear anyway, just want to say thank you to the board again for actually having me speak, and to everyone that support Let Me Know over the years. There's no such thing as those allegations of any sort of bullying, anything that we deal with at Let Me Know for the whole entire program, not for track, not for cross country, not for soccer, for no sports at all. Does not tolerate. We have a wonderful principal at the school. She would not at least entertain anything have to do with any kind of bullying, anything assault to any coaches trying to ill-treat a kid. Just want to make that clear here today. It's just been kind of rocky for the kids that's actually a part of the school program as well, and not just for Lake County, but for kids all over have to deal with stuff like this. The program is also designed not just to get kids to run fast or to just have them playing sports. It's to create to build bond between kids and also other coaches. Since the program is actually taking over with the cross-country program this year, back in June of this year, it's been wonderful with the kids that's here, that's on the team. I could see that some of them is here today. I could see that there's a few parents that's here that I actually coached their kids over the years. Thank you for your president that being here. I work for Lake County School as a volunteer since 2015. I'm going into my 7th season before I actually become a pretty much staff on the team. So I work almost about 3 years for anything I have to do, any kind of supplement or paid, pretty much just trying to help these kids. My goal is to help the kids, and I will continue to do so. If you guys will continue to give me the chance to do so, that would be my goal moving forward and forever. That's my goal, to continue to help these kids. Nothing else but to do the best for the kids. I want to thank you again. As my last thing to say, please, every other kid and to every parent, the goal is not to try to let a kid feel as if do sports is like a job. It's supposed to be activity that they have as fun, but also prepare them and get them ready for college and to prepare them for their whole lifespan after this. Every kid have to become an adult one day, and my job is to try to teach the kids to try to do better when they get to that point. Not to teach them anything else different from that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Daisy Johnson.
Good afternoon to the board, Superintendent. My name is Dr. Johnson, and I am a member of Lake Mineola High School. I'm also with the coaching staff of the cross-country, track, weightlifting, and now golf. I stand on behalf of Coach Campbell. This is a guy that I've known for, I've been at Lake Mineola since they opened the school. And Coach Campbell came 2 years after that. And I've known him for that many years. About 8 years I've known him. And he is a man that has done exactly what he said he would do. His main goal is to push the kids, to make sure that they are getting and they are achieving the things that he would like to see them achieve as a coach. So therefore, I stand on behalf of him, and I will continue to stand on his behalf. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we have a Zoom. We have a Zoom caller. Okay. Just one, yes? Okay. Okay. So go ahead. Uh-oh, looks like we got. Ready? Yeah, we'll go ahead and call someone else. Rick Carcello? Okay, thank you. I appreciate the help. You have 3 minutes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for listening for 3 minutes. That's awesome. Just here in regards to Coach Campbell also, I've had, I'm a father of 6 children. I have 2 girls, 4 boys, and 2 that attended Lake Mineola High School. And the 2 that attended Lake Mineola High School also participated in track and field, and also my last one that's in there right now is in cross country and track and field. My boys have never had any issues with Coach Campbell. They've known him since 2015. 2015 to 2018 was my son Jovian Carrillo, and he's turned out to be a great kid. Going to college for film and production, and a lot of it has to do with Coach Campbell. He set our kids forward to do their best, and he's always been there, not only as a coach for sports, but someone that's going to be there to help them look into the future and be better at their future. My son Emmanuel has been there since 2018, and he's a junior right now, and neither one of them have ever complained about Coach Campbell. If anything, they've always praised him and said that he's one of the best coaches out there. So any allegations against the coach, I don't agree in, and my boys can attest to that. They're great boys. They're not into drugs. They're not into any type of activities that would be a fail in the community. They're out there doing the best they can for the community. They're doing their sports. They're doing the best in school. Emmanuel's a summa cum laude 4.0 student right now, and he does sports with Coach Campbell. And any allegations against Coach Campbell is just completely false.
Thank you.
That's all I have to say.
Okay. So we got. Okay, Zoom. Mr. Serdar, go ahead. You have 3 minutes, sir. And you're muted right now. You're muted.
David Serdar, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. David Serdar, Fruitland Park, Florida, 66 Wintergreen Drive, Fruitland Park, Florida, 347. What we can do today can improve all our tomorrows. And I want you to know I've read your agenda. And at 10.01, there's an agreement with the sheriff of Lake County's facility with the school on the detention center where the kids that are in trouble can still learn, the juveniles. And I think it's called the ACER program. And Mrs. Feltner, I think, Superintendent Feltner, Assistant Superintendent, has got this. But I want you to know, I'm concerned about our kids' future. I'm concerned about our kids drinking and drugging and being in jail. And I'm trying to be at a health fair that's out in Eustis, at the library, to try and help people to quit drinking. I want you to know I went to the Tavares meeting, the city of Tavares, where you're at. I know Troy Singer, who is running for re-election. He's on the board. He is the chairman of the League of Cities. And Mayor Holland of Eustis, by God, it was a miracle. Well, to me it is. When the mayor calls you and says, where you been? I public commented at the school board before. I used to work at Leesburg High School, but you can't make everybody happy. But I am right here at the Leesburg Commissioners meeting, and I just public commented in person. You know, I do get around, and I go to church, and we are only here for a short time. I went to Josh Blake, one of our commissioners, his father's church over the weekend. You know, the Leesburg mayor. His dad was a minister, and he is a minister. And his dad died like mine did. My dad was an elementary school principal, same school he went to as a child, and he retired down here, 91 years old, and he died peacefully. You know, we're all going to go. It is what we do for our kids' future. And it's my honor to be in front of you folks again, but you know, it's not the days of your life, it's the life in your days. Lake County, Florida, what a great place to be. You are the elected officials. You are the people that make the choices for our kids' future. And I thank you for your time. I drove right past, on a bicycle past Mr. Messiah's business the other day, going to Good News Church. And, well, I hope our kids have a great Halloween. And I hope they listen to their parents. I hope they listen to their teachers. Because, well, it's your education that's so important. You know, I went to college, and I want you to know the football game, Tavares, at home. High school football game, the mayor of Tavares has a contest with Mayor Holland of Eustis, because it's going to be Eustis versus Tavares coming up. Who doesn't like football in Lake County? High school football. Hey, I played football. I played basketball. I am an athlete.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thanks so much. All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, bye-bye. Jennifer Wheaton?
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you for your time. My name is Jennifer Wetton. I have twin sons who are in their third year of cross country at Lake Mineola High School. My concerns include the ongoing harassment and personal attacks against Coach Maurice Campbell. He continues to do his best to coach the remaining players of the team despite constant pressure and badgering from those who have chosen to remove themselves from participation. Tonight, I would like to share specific ways Coach Campbell has brought unity, professionalism, and personal accountability to the team. Some may say that Coach Campbell has divided the team. I would argue, however, that they have isolated themselves from the team and from the benefits of being a part of it. Coach Campbell has worked to blend the track and cross-country members in support of one another and invites them to participate together. He is happy to communicate with parents and athletes alike rather than verbally communicating with teenagers and hoping that the message is correctly given to their parents, thus unifying efforts between athletes and families. Coach Campbell seems to recognize that when you schedule an athlete, you schedule a family. Coach Campbell brings a strong sense of professionalism to the cross-country team with high expectations, timely communication, consistent scheduling, and willingness to provide feedback and insights to the athletes. He has increased communication tenfold. He works to get the team in a positive frame of mind for weekly competitions, and despite the barrage of hate and backlash being thwarted toward him, he brings encouragement, positivity, expectation, and belief to each event. Coach Campbell recognizes that he is in a leadership position with these students. He does not play favorites, and his expectations don't fluctuate based on his personal relationship with students or parents. He treats them all equally with fairness and accountability. He speaks with respect and kindness. He expects students to treat coaches with that same level of respect and dignity. Coach Campbell has elevated personal accountability among team members. He recognizes that cross-country should be fun, yes, and at the same time, he teaches our athletes to say what they mean and mean what they say. When students agree to participate on the team, he expects them to show up and to give their best. If an athlete cannot attend an event, he expects them to communicate appropriately. He expects them to own their position on the team. He expects them to participate and to give 100%. He expects them to look out for one another and for the team as a whole. He highlights each team member's strengths and helps them rise above their weaknesses. Coach Campbell deserves the chance to lead these teams without the unnecessary harassment of those who are not directly involved in the program that he has been hired to lead. Please, I beg you and those listening, let him do his job. Let him show us the success he is capable of bringing to our athletes and our school. We are One Hawk.
Thank you. Debbie Kuntz. Debbie, Kunze.
Hi, I'm Debbie Kunze. Thank you guys for having us here tonight. Just here to represent Coach Campbell and all the runners. My daughter Lillian Kunze wasn't going to run this year. She was not included in the original summertime session of running, which had been every year they had running in the summer. She wasn't included in part of that. She was unaware that they were having the practices until after it had already been going. It was unofficial practices, but some people were there facilitating the thing, not Coach Campbell. So she was feeling left out and wasn't going to run as part of the team, but Coach Campbell reached out and said, hey, Lily, you should join the team. We really want you here. And she's excelled, and now she's thinking of going to college to be a runner. She's finally finding that love for running that she's once had, because she's been running since 7th grade at Eastridge Middle School. And her, I have an older daughter, Ellie, who also ran cross country and track. She graduated in 2020, and she never had any issues with Coach Campbell back then. We haven't had any issues. We think he's doing a great job. He's very positive and keeps the team very unified, and we're One Hawk. So thank you, Coach Campbell.
Thank you. Is it Peyton Carl Whidden?
Work. Why aren't you working? Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I will now begin. Coach Campbell is a great coach. I think he just moved. Okay. Is a great coach and honestly one of the best coaches I have ever had. He treats all his runners fairly, regardless of their strength or grade. He cares greatly for us and wants us all to succeed. He systematically plans our practices and consistently communicates with our parents. He has never verbally or physically abused or assaulted his runners. He is truly a great coach, especially in comparison to our last one. In the past, a coach once said that if you didn't attend all the practices without notification of possibly missing it, you would not run the next upcoming race. She did not hold true to her word and allowed them to walk over her rules. Oftentimes, under the same coaching, runners would cheat the workouts, making it appear that they were doing the workout by arriving at the same time as the rest of us, but only going half the distance or going at a slower pace, making them look better and more likable to the coach, when in reality they were cheating both themselves and the team. In the past alike, we would run long runs, leaving the starting location running 3 to 4 miles away, but then returning. During this period of time, the coach rarely accompanied us and to make sure that we were safe or keep us in checks. During this time, we had no possible communication with her because we gave her our phone so that we could run better. Coach Campbell does not do this. When we run long runs, he joins us. He either actually runs with us when he can, or drives to locations along the route to make sure that we are safe and that we are doing the workout. Oh my gosh. Coach Campbell also makes stretching a priority, which had been a rarity with our last coach. During stretches and workouts, he commonly explains why and what it will do for us, metaphorically tuning our engines. Some runners claim that his workouts hurt them and that he inflicted their injuries upon them. I oppose this view because the runners that claim this did not stretch when the time was given, and they did not heed the advice the coach gave them, thinking that the stretching was dumb and the advice was dumber. I had shin splints my entire running career for the previous coach, but after the prioritized stretching and icing, my legs have since then recovered. After each race and throughout practices, I talk with the coach, double-checking that my form is correct and for advice. This coach is very future-oriented and does not allow us to burn out, which I had issues with previously. At states last year, I burned out badly after districts. My time dropped 31 seconds and then another 20 seconds once I reached states. This will not happen this year. He has planned this season so that we will reach our top times at regionals and carry it through states, performing at our best. Coach Campbell has also set a systematic schedule so that all practices will be at the same time and the same place. This has made it much easier for parents and athletes alike. Now with Coach Campbell at the helm, planning is easy. Both parents and athletes alike receive this information. We receive an email each week concerning that week's meet, and it is a massive help. Coach Campbell is kind. When runners feel a possible injury developing, I guess I'll finish there.
You can finish your thought.
I can finish it?
Finish,
Okay.
no, not your whole thing. Just finish your thought. That's it?
Regardless, Coach Campbell is a great coach. I love him as a man, not in a homosexual way, but in a straight way. He is a great man, and I really enjoy having him as a coach for his advice. And yeah, I'm embarrassed.
Okay, thank you. Lillian Kunze? Okay.
Okay, good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lily Kinsey. A little bit about myself. I'm a junior at Lake Mineola High School and have been running since 7th grade. However, my running experience has been bittersweet. Before Coach Campbell, my previous coach was almost the reason I gave up my running career, because every year we have had summer conditionings and upcoming season practices, but I was never included in these over the summer because of whatever reasons. I was lied to, and I just felt really not welcome on the team anymore, and I didn't want to continue running. Then I decided, you know what, I should talk to Coach Campbell, and he told me every year, this year it's going to be different, it's going to be different. Coach is a very different coach from other coaches and my past experiences. He's always bringing positivity to the table. At practices, it's hot. People might say, oh, it's too hot to run after school. And I don't think that's true. Yes, it is hot, hydrate during the day. But he goes out of his way each and every practice. He provides shades, like shade with tent. He brings water, Gatorade, and makes us feel hydrated. And as a runner, it's little things like that that makes us feel really appreciated as an athlete, because we're going out of our way. And he's a great coach. For anyone who says that he didn't have a good experience with his coaching, it's very hard to believe. Our team is not just a team, it's a family. We're student athletes who are just trying to run, and all the extra accusations being made to the team who aren't even on the team is very unnecessary and unprofessional. Just let the athletes come to compete and the parents support us. He does little things that make a big difference. It's these tiny acts that make us athletes feel appreciated and cared about. Being an athlete, injuries are bound to happen. Not once does Coach consider these injuries fake. He ensures that we take the proper precautions to recover and come back stronger. Coach Campbell, to anyone who has a negative view, Coach Campbell, it hurts us athletes of his team to hear that. Coach Campbell has respect from all athletes of his team on and off the field and in his community. He provides a safe, inspiring, fun, hardworking team. We may have a small team, but we have big hearts willing to work even harder for our success. Thank you all for your time. I hope my perspective can give you an idea on how honored we are to have him as a coach, because without him, our team wouldn't be complete.
Thank you very much. Shalimar Lavarati, Sr.
Good evening. My name is Shalimar. I've known the coach for about 2 years now, and my son trains with him. He's actually here.
Yep, he's actually next.
Yeah, so he's very professional, and he takes time with the kids. He makes sure that he puts them on the path to be how can I say, be responsible. He trains them to, you know, sorry about that. He's a great guy, and anything that's said about him is false. You know, he takes the time and he runs with the kids. He makes sure he trains them properly. He takes the he's a religious guy. He's very personable. He communicates with the parents. He communicates with the kids, and he's just a great person. And any allegations are false. I mean, when they go to the track meets, he's the only coach that I've seen to go to the meets, train with the kids, you know, make sure they're hydrated. He coaches them up, and he's just a great guy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll bring up Junior. Y'all tag team.
Thank you, Lake County School Board, for having me speak. Get this going. All right. I just wanted to say that Coach Campbell is a great coach, and when I was struggling in track and not being able to run the times I wanted, I had to make a choice on moving away from my friends on my old track team and joining a new team. So I joined Coach Campbell's team, and in 1 week I was able to drop 4 to 5 seconds, and I've been doing so ever since I've joined. Coach Campbell is always pushing me to be a better student athlete and a better person in life, and he's helped me outside of track as well, whether it's family situations, whether anything going on in my life, and anytime I felt like giving up, he was always there to like push me and keep me going. And Coach Campbell was just a great coach, and I wouldn't want him to leave the area. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Lily Henne. Lily Henne. Henne.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lily Henne, and I'm a senior at Lake Mineola High School. I joined the cross-country team about 3 months ago, and I've had the opportunity to meet some truly amazing people. People that I won't forget long after I graduate, enter the real world, and retire. Among the exceptionally memorable people I've had the pleasure of meeting at Lake Mineola, the indelible Coach Campbell comes to mind. My first few interactions with Coach Campbell are particularly vivid. I recall a preseason 200-meter interval workout. About halfway through the intervals, Coach Campbell announced to the whole group that the next repeat needed to be slightly slower than the previous few. Then we could proceed with the original pace. He explained, "We didn't notice it yet, but the early signs of fatigue had begun to show. From adjusting workouts for those who are struggling, to bringing coolers of ice and water to practice, his care and attentiveness towards the smallest of details is evident every single day. The team culture Coach Campbell has created allows athletes to work hard in a sport where complacency is never rewarded. Coach Campbell hasn't instilled the work ethic and drive in the athletes on this team, but he has given us the mental and physical tools to help us reach our full potential. Oftentimes, this includes holding us back from the instant gratification an extra mile may provide, and emphasizing the importance of recovery and rest. At practice, I feel valued and accepted as a whole person and not just a 5K time. This year, I've made it my goal to learn as much as I can from Coach Campbell, an exceptionally intelligent coach and kind person. I hope other kids have the opportunity to do the same."
Thank you. Porter Witten. I think I butchered it again. Sorry.
Hello there. My name is Porter Wetton, and I'm a student at Lake Mineola High School. This year I'm a junior, and I run on the cross-country team. This is my 3rd year, and I'm so excited this year to be running under Coach Campbell. One thing that I really love about Coach Campbell is that he expects effort of us, and he kind of helps us to learn that however much you put in is how much you're going to get out. If you don't put in the effort at his practices, you're not trying, of course, you're not going to see any results. But under under his purview and stuff, and under training under him, you can kind of see that you see results after training with them. Going into the season, he knew that many of us had problems with injuries in the past. For example, me and my brother both had shin splints for the past couple years running cross country. And this season, knowing that, he tried to focus on different types of training to kind of combat that. Instead of making us, like, running us so much that it would hurt our legs again and have us have that problem again. He kind of tailored the training to make it more beneficial to all of us. He's advised me, I'm a dual sport athlete. I play soccer as well at the same time as doing cross country. And not only does he help me with just my cross country needs, right, but he helps me with my soccer stuff as well. So different, of course you're gonna use like different muscles and stuff between soccer and cross country. And he's helped me to kind of learn different things, how to strengthen different muscles and how to stretch differently in order to help with both of those sports. When faced with different problems, Coach Campbell has attempted to solve them before they came to be and before they became larger problems and stuff. And this is evident from all the different times that he's held meetings in order to try and address different problems that people had either with his coaching style or just for whatever reasons I guess they had. But no matter how bogus they were. At the end of the day, I feel like some people just kind of have a problem with new leadership, right? And sometimes that can be tough. But I feel like at the end of the day, you have to learn to give people a chance, right? And in giving Coach Campbell a chance, I realized how much that I can learn from him this year and how much I already have begun to. And I just want to thank you guys all for your time.
Thank you. Rihanna Clark.
Good evening. I'm Rihanna Clark. I'm a student at Lake Mineola, and I'm also a dual sport athlete. I run track and I play soccer. I'm a senior this year, and I've been playing sports since I was about 5 years old, and it's been, I can't even tell you how many different things. I've been on so many different teams over the years, and I've had my fair share of good coaches and bad coaches, which is something that every athlete goes through. And from an athlete point of view, I can't tell you how influential coaches are on us. Like, we spend more time with them than we do our own parents most of the time. So having a good coach is really, really important to not only just our athletic careers, but to our development at the stage that we're at right now in our lives. Having a bad coach can affect your self-esteem, can affect more than just your athletic performance. And so I've had experiences with that, not only in my younger years, but recently. And so I was kind of nervous last year going into track again because I used to run in elementary and middle school just a little bit. And I kept hearing how good Coach Campbell was, so I was like, okay, I'll try it out again. So I went to try out, and I had a sprained ankle already. I could barely run because of soccer season. And Coach Campbell told me, you can't run right now, but if you're willing to put in the effort, he will give you exactly what you put back in. And so he said, he gave not just me, everybody who was willing to put in the effort and the commitment exactly what we deserved. And so I got on the team, and I was not the fastest girl, and I haven't ran in so long, but he still gave equal opportunity for all of us. And I know that a lot of people kind of focus on track and field as an individual sport, and it's really not. It is definitely a team sport, almost closer than any other team sport that I've ever been on. So being a part of the team requires discipline, a good attitude, effort, and good sportsmanship, most definitely. And these are the things that are expected of us from not only Coach Campbell, but the coaching staff in general. And I've seen what being on a team with members who don't have those attributes can do to not only yourself, but like your whole outlook on life and your team environment. And so it really is just it's not a healthy environment when your team is not together. And these things that are expected of us are, there's simple things that are expected of us, and with the respect that we give to the team, the sport, and our coach, not just Coach Campbell, but all of us, we receive the most fair, respectful, caring treatment that I've ever gotten from any coach that I've ever been coached by. Although some of us may not agree or understand with the decisions that are made, especially at whatever point in the season we're at, we may not understand in the time, like they were talking about their shin splints, like you don't understand what's going on, but Coach
Go ahead
Campbell's
and
great.
finish up.
Okay. Coach Campbell is one of the best coaches that I've ever had, and he would never do anything to harm us or anything like that. He does everything for the best for the program and for his athletes.
Thank you very much. Kevin Kerman.
What's up, board? I didn't really prepare anything. I just want to thank you for having me. I didn't really prepare anything. I just wanted to say what was on my mind.
Cool.
So I've been running track since my freshman year of high school, and I'm a senior. I just want to say, like, I've never been, like, the best at it or the most confident at it, and I had dealt with a lot of injuries throughout it, but going into my junior year, I practically already quit the sport because I was just kind of done with it, but Campbell became, like, the new track head coach, so I thought I'd just come out there for tryouts, just see what I do, just see how the new experience was, and I wasn't the best. I didn't do what I was used to doing, but Campbell took the time and put me around, moved me to different events to see what I was good at because he wanted to make sure that I felt a part of the team, which I didn't really feel a part of the team, you know. Just having a coach that, like, believes in you and wants you to be a part of the team, wants you to feel comfortable with everybody on the team, it just felt really good. And this year was my first year running cross country. I'm doing it more for, like, a conditioning kind of thing, but he really makes me feel a part of this team, and I never thought I would. Just all these people that have been running these sports, like, their whole lives, and he's made me feel like the same way, even though I've only been doing it for a couple months. But I've never had a problem with Campbell. He's been one of the best coaches I've ever had. He's always made me feel like I'm a part of every team I'm a part of. He makes me feel like I'm important. And, like, I've never seen him harass, bully, abuse, not even slightly, any of that to any of his athletes. He's always taking care of his athletes, making sure they're healthy, making sure they're okay. And whenever he thinks they're not 100%, he goes one-on-one with them, makes sure everything's okay, talks to them personally. Like, I've had family emergencies, I've dealt with injuries, and he's always been prepared for that. He's always been supportive of that. And I just want to thank him for being such a great coach.
Thank you very much. Alex D'Ambrosia.
Hi. Good evening. My name is Alex D'Ambrosio. I have been, luckily enough, and honored to have Coach Campbell as my coach for the past 7 years, 3 of which were in high school. As a first generation athlete and everything in my family, Coach Campbell has been there every single step of the way. He showed me that not only performing in track was important, but also performing my academics. He really drove me to want to continue my education. He also put those opportunities in place. He actively worked to talk to other coaches on other teams in college to try and forward my next career paths, to pursue track and to pursue my careers. And so he even put all that into place for me, and I had the opportunity of viewing other colleges. And before Coach Campbell even joined, because I was a part of the program 1 year prior, and I never knew those were even opportunities until he stepped in. He has shown me, even after leaving high school, that he is still there for me, and he is actively seeked out to make sure I'm okay if I haven't checked in. He's made sure that I am continuing to still work towards my goals no matter what they are, even if it's not in track anymore. To me, it actually deeply hurts me that people are considering to say bad things about Coach Campbell, because he has been a great person to me and actually my family too. Coach Campbell, he needs to be there to provide opportunities to other students like me who never knew that there was even an opportunity to move forward with track. And not even with track, but just in life in general. And he's just a great person, and it would be an immense disadvantage to any other athletes to come in after these athletes leave if Coach Campbell is not a coach in track or in cross country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Vanessa Jones.
Hello, I'm Vanessa Jones. I graduated from Lake Mineola in 2017, and I'm here, like everybody else, for Coach Campbell. And I just want to say that he's honestly one of the most dedicated coaches I've ever had. He's one of the reasons why I'm still running track to this day. He prepared me to run collegiately, and I got to the past 4 years. And not only that, but he still trains me. Even though, like, I have, for no reason, no money, nothing, he just trains me out of the kindness of his heart, because I want to do one more track season, and I'm here by myself, have no coach at school anymore. he's still here for me, and he's the only coach that's still here for me. It's been 4 years since I graduated, and I just see how much the program has grown. I was with him for 2 years while I was at school, and it's just crazy, the growth that he's had. And you could tell because Coach Tucker left the track team and he retired, and he knew it was in good hands because he left it with Coach Campbell. He does everything and anything to help his athletes succeed, and he doesn't do it for money or recognition, but because he truly cares about us. I hope that after this meeting, all the drama and politics can finally be put to rest, and Coach Campbell can focus all his energy to help these kids be the best they can be. Lake Mineola and Lake County is really blessed and honored to have a coach like him.
Thank you very much. Jasmine Williams.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Williams, and I'm a freshman at Lake Mineola High School. I've been to middle school states 3 times in a row, and I've been to nationals twice, my last time placing 19th. Being the only freshman on the team isn't easy. As you can see, I've had running experience, but everyone else on the team is older and has had a lot more experience running at this level of competition. Even though I recently ran a 5K in 19 minutes and 31 seconds, giving myself a qualifying time for an elite race and placing as the 8th fastest freshman in the state of Florida, I didn't do it on my own. Ever since the incident where half the team left and Coach Cheryl signed her resignation, our remaining runners have become more like a family, and Coach Campbell is a big part of that. I didn't run in 1931 by ignoring his advice. I did it by listening and learning from someone who had experience training runners. I also did it by being strategically placed by Coach Campbell with the best on our team, Lily Henney, over and over. My point, being on this team with Coach Campbell and everyone else has made me a stronger, faster runner, and I've become a smarter runner. Not only is Coach a good trainer, he's also a good person. I remember at one of our meets, boys varsity was finishing up their race, and the very last varsity runner from a different team was finishing. I remember looking behind me and seeing our coach run with a kid on a completely different team to the point where he should start his sprint to the finish, encouraging him along the way. Afterwards, the kid came up to Coach Campbell and thanked him for running with him, and without a doubt, I knew he was a good person. I mean, who here would voluntarily run with someone else's athlete, tiring yourself out? As much as they try to make him look bad, he's kept a positive mentality. As long as I've been on this team, I have never seen him belittle anyone or bully anyone. He tells us things that make us better as runners and as people. As the school board, you're all here to benefit us as the students, and if you truly want to benefit us, you'd let Coach Campbell stay, because without him, our cross-country team won't be complete, and we'll be missing the most important piece of our family, the piece that makes us all better. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Justin Theophile. See how badly I butchered it.
No, you're good. It's Justin Theophile.
Okay.
My name is Justin Theophile. Thank you for letting me speak on behalf of Coach Campbell. Coach Campbell pushed me as a student athlete and student because he did emphasize on grades more than anything. He gave me he gave nobody on the team special treatment, no matter what rank or how fast your times were. A good example was me. Throughout 6th to 8th grade, I did run track, but you could say with a different type of coach. That coach gave very general workouts for the general population. Coach Campbell is a coach no like any other, giving workouts designed specifically towards athletes to make them better. And because of that, I was able to run in my first state competition last year. He's a genuine person that cares for all his athletes, and the accusations made against my coach are very disappointing because it is not true at all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Sharon Easom. Sharon Easom, sorry.
Good evening. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to support Coach Campbell. Just a brief history of who I am, quick thing about who I am. I was born and raised in Clemont, so I've been here 45, 46 years. Last class at Clemont High School, 1993. So I grew up in a small town atmosphere. I've had great coaches with Coach Cockcroft, Coach Gagnon, Mr. Church, all those great guys that I was able to watch and follow. And the amount of love that they showed is the reason we stayed and fought no matter what, even though we were a small school. They made you want to be a better person, not just athlete. Well, watching Coach Campbell, It's the same thing. As you can look around, you see all the parents here, friends, athletes, some athletes that don't even run for Lake Minneola. They love Coach Campbell. I love him. I told him straight up, if he's not here, I won't coach again. And the only place I'll ever coach is Lake Minneola High School. That's it. Born and raised, when I'm done with Lake Minneola, I'm going to hang it up, period. And I didn't know what that was going to look like until he said, Coach, I'm going to go for the job. I said, whether or not be there. Because without you, it's not going to be the same. That's my brother. I go to bat for him. Bottom line, it's no better dude. And you hear the parents talk, the kids. People can say what they want to say. This is a stand-up guy. Attacking someone's character the way they attacked his, it's not right. It's not fair. But I just want to let you know that, you see, we got your back, Coach, no matter what. And thank you guys for allowing me to speak. Thank you, Coach Campbell, for doing what you do. I'm only here because of you. And these kids that you heard are only here because of him. He allows them to train from a professional level that he constructs the workouts to bring them along to that level. You're not going to get that with too many other people. And for that, I know the kids are grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Corey Montgomery. Corey Montgomery? You're not speaking? Oh, thank you. Martini Theophile? Okay, very good, thank you. Van Chokum? But before you start, Vance, because I know yours has nothing to do with this, I want to say, as your representative for Lake Minneola High School, I am enormously proud of you young men and women coming here and speaking and defending your coach. You are all one hawk, and I'm grateful to be your representative. Sorry. And I had her start the time of Vance.
Vance Yoakum, as the board knows, I come here frequently and give you public input on budgets. And I thought this whole crowd was here to listen to me read some pages, from the school district budget, but apparently not. The coach, sounds like a great guy. My own experience with coaches is that I once had him mad at me because I and some high school friends put a Volkswagen Beetle in the entrance to the gymnasium and nobody could get in or out. So that was my big experience, that and a drill sergeant in the Army. So anyway, so I'll just quickly say that three things. One is nice new website. You know, you got a great new website, the school district. I was going through there. And secondly, I've talked before about inflation, but I confronted that. It's coming. It's, I think, going to be pretty bad because I went to Publix and there was hardly any cat food. And so when there's a shortage of cat food, you know, that's economics 101. So you students, you know, pay attention to economics.
That's your indicator.
And in reading the agenda, I would like to congratulate John Carr because he had in there that they saved $4,639 in concrete expenses on a project. Yay. And you've also spent $3.9 million on buses. And Kim Cronin left. I was asking her if she should be doing the jive because that's buses for her bus drivers. And so I think that's about all. I just would encourage everybody to build mental fortitude as well as physical attitude by taking accounting when you get to college.
Thank you. Okay, back to reports. That concludes public input. Mr. Johnson. Okay, that takes us to superintendent and new business.
All right. We're on the consent agenda. I recommend approval of consent agenda items 8.01 to 10.04.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. Okay. Do we want to take a quick break for a second?
We need a quick break?
Huh?
We need a quick break?
While they're moving about? Go ahead, keep going.
On discussion items.
Ready?
Okay, we're ready.
Mr. Chairman, the next item is a request by Ms. Cunningham for attendance at an FSBA conference in November.
Talking to your mic, Mr. Johnson. It's on, it's just you got to talk into it.
Under the board rules, the public has an opportunity to speak on the specific travel agenda item immediately preceding the request. Is there anyone here that wishes to speak to this particular item? Please come forward to the podium. Mr. Chairman, that satisfies the notice requirement. I think you can now handle it as a regular agenda item.
Thank you. Superintendent?
I recommend approval for Ms. Molly Cunningham to travel to the FSBA conference November 30th.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I guess 4-0. I'm not sure if you can vote for that. Okay, so 4 and 1 abstain. Abstained. Okay. Next.
Mr. Chairman, the next item is a compilation of 3 policy amendments. The board will be passing for tentative approval, or it's before the board to pass for tentative approval, policy 2371, Hope Scholarships, policy 2421, Career and Technical Education, and bylaw 0141.2, Conflict of Interest. If there's anyone here this evening that wishes to speak to any of these 3 policies, please come forward to the podium at this time. Seeing no one coming forward, Mr. Chairman, I believe it appropriate to close the public hearing.
Superintendent recommendation.
I recommend approval of the 3 policies listed on the agenda for approval this evening.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation.
So moved.
Second for discussion.
Okay.
This is the one I was gonna pull. If you guys look at bylaw 141.2, conflict of interest, there's this one line, on page, I'm having to look at my phone, page 2, on number 8. It says disclosure or use of certain information. Board members shall not disclose or use information not available to members of the general public and gained by reason of his or her official position for his, her personal gain or benefit of any other person or business entity. Which, I mean, I understand not personal gain, but like, we regularly get information and share it with the public. That's kind of our job. So I don't understand this sentence to me. To me, this sentence is saying you can't share information with the general public. So I would recommend striking it, or I don't even know where it came from.
Came from statute, which says that a current or former public officer, employee of an agency, or local government attorney may not disclose or use information not available to members of the general public and gained by reason of his or her official position, except for information relating exclusively to governmental practices, for his or her personal gain or benefit, or for the personal gain or benefit of any person or business entity. So
It's a financial thing.
this
is what it's called.
policy actually tracks what the statute says.
So what is it referring to?
If I had inside information that as elected official, and I used it to beat my competition, let's say. or-
Oh, is that what it's referring to?
It's a financial thing.
Okay, so it's not, it's, because I was like, what is the certain information? That's what I didn't.
If you had inside information, and we went and bought property, let's say.
Oh, okay.
We were gonna do a school
Okay.
site. That's
Okay.
what it's saying.
Okay, so that's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a question actually on the same policy. It's the first line there about the school board member not having any direct financial interest in the contract. Okay, I get that part. But the second part here, nor shall she or he furnish directly any labor, equipment, or supplies to the district. I think all the time we as board members lend our personal expertise from whatever business we come from, whatever background, so we do furnish essentially our labor. Sometimes we volunteer that, or you might be in a position to furnish equipment. So I think I'd like to just suggest on this one that we just add that you can't do it for compensation.
Okay, which number are you on?
I'm on the same bylaw, the very first line of text there.
Add the word for compensation.
The very first line?
Yeah, school board member shall not have any direct financial interest in a contract with the school district, nor shall she or he furnish directly any labor, equipment, or supplies to the district.
And, I mean, that's pretty standard. I mean, it's a concept that you can't.
Right, but I'm saying that all the time, we lend our personal expertise from a business background for free. We do it, but this would say we can't do it, that we can't lend our labor, we can't lend our equipment or supplies to the district.
Yeah,
And I want to say that that should be able to continue, you just can't do it for compensation.
I don't think there's any way that labor, equipment, or supplies equates to using your knowledge to perform your job as a school board member.
So it's very specific, like Matthias Food Service has no business with the district, right?
That's right.
However, this is just a scenario, that I did provide my expertise in consulting services for the design of the new Four Corners School. So.
That's exactly one of the reasons, or scenarios potentially that could exist that made me think about this policy.
Pro bono, by the way.
Yes, because.
Or, for example, you know, all the time I go into schools and do magic for their carnivals and things. That's something that I would be hired to do, that I would charge people to do, but schools, I don't charge them. But this would say I couldn't furnish that kind of labor. Meanwhile, I just wanted to say I could do it just for free.
Or is it saying that? Is that your interpretation?
Sir?
Are you interpreting it the way that what we're speaking about?
No.
That's what I thought.
I guess I would just like to.
I mean, for the good, that's very, you're obviously not supposed to provide, I mean, it's not in the scenario that happens here. If you're a school board member and you want to help you get reelected or help out the people who are going to make a decision about whether they would include you in any discussions with being reelected, and you give them something, you give them a car, or you have a, well, I mean, these don't happen very often,
I don't
so
think
I'm
that
having
scenario is
trouble.
the same as what we're describing.
He just wants to add the word for compensation.
At the.
For
That you
compensation.
can still
Well,
furnish.
I don't think that works though, added for
Because of what he's
compensation.
suggesting is that maybe you're not getting compensation for it, but you're getting
But
votes.
you're not
Oh.
supposed to get
Supports.
compensation for it.
Right, but this also says that you can't furnish any labor to the district, that you can't furnish any equipment or supplies to the district.
And yeah, I mean, you can't furnish, you can't as a school board member come in and say, I'm gonna give you 3 or 4 refrigerators. You're not supposed to be doing that. The way that's always done, Mark, is that you go to the Carmen's.
Ed Foundation.
The Ed Foundation. If you want to donate things to the school district, you don't do it directly. You donate it to Ed Foundation, and that's their decision whether to do it to the district. That's not a direct transfer of something to the district.
I think when you're talking about tangible items, I can see how you could indirectly do that. They still-
Right.
But what about services, labor? I don't know how you
Well,
could,
see,
how you could indirectly.
And I'm
give
having
that.
trouble understanding that what you're categorizing as services and labor
He's
is
categorizing
your
his own
personal
labor
work.
as a service, his own labor, not somebody he hires as labor.
That's right. So you know, on the side, I do magic and balloon animals, and I charge people for that. I charge companies for that. But schools say, hey, I'm having a fall carnival. Hey, can you come do balloon animals? Sure, I'll do that. I'm furnishing you labor. I don't want to be paid for it. I want to do it for nothing. But
Right.
this policy says I can't directly furnish that labor. So I just want to say that I can still furnish the labor, just not be paid for it. You know?
So what about
Or-
the beginning of the statement that says you shall not have any direct financial interest? Does that not take care of that?
No, because the second part is a nor. So that's,
I don't interpret it that way. I think it means in addition to that.
But it doesn't
We
say
can't do
and,
that.
it says
Maybe we
nor.
should
No, it
table
does
this?
say nor, meaning you can't do either or.
Right,
Yeah,
so therefore I can't do the second
agree
part.
with Ms. Cunningham's, how she's reading that as this policy. And you know, a financial interest in a contract could be interpreted as performing services for some school with compensation. But you're saying you just want to put in without
Yeah,
compensation?
if you want to go do it for free, this policy says you can't furnish the labor. You can't work for free anymore for the district. You can't volunteer
Well, I don't think
services.
that's anymore. I
No.
think that's,
Well,
I
wait a
think
minute,
that's been
read the first part of the sentence again.
A school board member shall not have any direct financial interest in a contract with the school district.
I tend to
That's
agree
fine
with-
on its own, but then there's the second half of the sentence, nor
Nor
can
shall he, she furnish directly any labor, equipment, or supplies. That means that you will also not do that. You will not, it says you will not have any financial interest in a contract, and you will not directly furnish labor, equipment, or supplies to the district.
Right, I get that, but the nor.
But I don't think the
It makes it the
statute-
second clause.
This is pulled out of a couple of different things in the statute, and I don't think it talks about compensation as it.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get our policy to do, to say that you can still furnish labor, but you're gonna do it for free. So,
Okay.
for instance, in Bill's hypothetical scenario here of furnishing labor, you know, if he says, hey, I wanna draw one of your kitchens, I wanna help the school district out, does this say he can't do that? Or if I say,
Yeah, would you interpret that? Because that's exactly what happened.
That
And-
you provided your consulting services free of charge.
Correct.
I mean, I don't have a problem as long as the contract isn't 180 degrees different than that. I mean, as the statute is. I'll have to check
we wanna
that
pull that and
specific
look at it?
statutory
I say we table
reference.
this one.
Yeah, let's pull that one
Okay.
and let's clarify
Look it
that.
over.
Because that could end up hurting us.
And that's probably been interpreted more than once, so I should be able to find out something very specific on it.
What do you, yes, Dr. Tibbetts, this is unusual, but make it short.
I think what Mark was saying.
You have to step up, please.
I think what Mark is saying is very significant. If you, Chairman Mathias, volunteer your expertise for free to the district, it's a disservice to a competitive person who would be looking to do the same. If Mark agrees to be a ticket taker at an event where other ticket takers are being paid, he's costing someone a job. So unless it says what he says, I can do this and I'm allowed to do it for free, but understand even what that is saying. That if you do it for free, is that impacting?
If you were saving the district, in the situation that I got involved in, the consultant, the food service consultant, was, first of all, provided a very bad design, then was going to charge us another $20,000 to redo it. So his architect fired him because I told him I would do it for free. So the guy got dealt out for sure, and he lost the 20 grand for sure, and thank God I was on the school board to do it,
I agree.
right?
I
So,
agree,
there we
but
go.
he makes a point of the way this is worded. You're not allowed to do that.
Right.
So
No,
you need to
yes, that's
fix
my
the
problem,
way
so I
it's
want it to be
worded.
allowed to do that.
right. Yeah, so we're going to pull that
We're
one.
gonna
Everybody agree?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're pulling that one for right now. Okay, so now then,
All right, so I'll amend my recommendation.
Wait, we were on second.
Oh,
we had a second with comments, so we need someone to amend it, to pull it.
Can I recommend that we table bylaw 141.2?
Okay, you heard the recommendation, a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, tabled. Okay, so now I guess we can just vote on the other two. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? 5-0. Okay, board member, superintendent report.
Just two quick things. If you could check your calendars for a workshop on November the 1st at our usual 9:30 time. We have a couple of items we want to bring to the board, including the legislative priorities that we need to vote on and approve or to move those forward. And then a few other items that will be added to the agenda that we will notice if that date works for you. Okay. And then I just wanted to give a big thank you and shout out to a group called Band of Brothers. They're a group of veterans that represent Lake, Sumter, and Marion County. I got a phone call several weeks ago that said, hey, if you'll come to this, meet us in the villages, we want to give your school district $4,000. And you think, okay, what's the catch? And I showed up, and they indeed handed me a check for $4,000 and said, we just want you to use it for kids. They're just a group that is very much, and of course, as veterans, it serves our country, but they're also serving our community, and so they gave of all three counties, they gave us each $4,000, and so we're just very grateful. It was a pleasure meeting them, and we'll put that money to good use in the best interest of our kids, so I just want to say thank you to them. That's all I have tonight.
Hey, Dr. Burns?
I just wanted to say thank you to the Mojo Grill for the rock program. That's really cool. Also, the Mojo Grill is really delicious. They're next to us, and you can DoorDash them. And I also wanted to say thank you also to all of those students who came out from, well, the parents too, who came out from Lake Minneola. But I just thought, wow, those children really spoke beautifully, and I loved how each kid hit on different things, and especially the fact that they pointed out how Coach Campbell is really looking out for their health, and I can't tell you how important it is for athletes to maintain their ability to perform, and to find a coach who can do that is remarkable. So I just wanted to say those kids were remarkably eloquent and did a great job.
Well
That's
done.
all I have.
Well done. Mrs. Cunningham?
Good evening and thank you. I'd like to congratulate all Rookie Teachers of the Year and Teachers of the Year throughout the district. I'd also like to share that I had the pleasure of attending the STEM opening ribbon cutting at both Beverly Shores and Leesburg Elementary. Those were very nice events, and as a bonus, the Chamber had also made arrangements to introduce a reading program for second grade at both schools. It also included Treadway. However, I was not able to go to Treadway. But it was just amazing at the number of business people in our community that are stepping up, as well as individuals, and giving a great deal of money to help our children appreciate reading. I think that's very important. I think it's important that we take notice of those businesses, and when you're deciding on where to give your dollars, you might consider them because they are giving back to our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Dodd?
So at our last meeting, I think I had some rather unkind words for the Florida State Textbook Depository, and so and I had asked this board to send a very strongly worded letter, and I guess so. I guess I need to offer somewhat of an apology on that. I was disappointed to learn that some of the textbook issues were actually the fault of our own district, rather than the textbook depository. But as I started to think more about this particular situation. I think we've got maybe a situation where some of it is our district and some of it is the textbook depository, just based on when books have arrived. I don't know if this is one because it gets pretty complicated, I guess, as you dive into it. It's becoming more challenging to discern what's our district or what was the state issues or what are publisher issues. I don't know, is this potentially one for the auditor to look at to reconcile when were all the books purchased, what arrived when, what has still not arrived? Because maybe a strongly worded letter is still in order.
Do we have books that still haven't arrived?
Unless they arrive today.
So I spoke today with the vice president as well as the president. They went through the only thing that we have not received was grades 3 through 5 science, and they said that those should be received. We should get those either tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest. And then there was some over orders. So for growth, Lake Point Academy and Grassy Lake, we had to order some more math books, and they said that the only ones that they were holding the whole order because the third grade textbooks that they received in the second shipment from the publisher was defective. And so they were holding the order and had to send back all the third grade math texts. This is volume 1, they have volume 2. They sent those back to the publisher to get those fixed. In the meantime, they were holding the whole order. So I asked them today, go ahead and put the rest of the grade levels on the truck tomorrow. They're gonna send those. They said you'll have them tomorrow or the next day. Some of them got on the truck today. And they're still waiting for the rest of the grade 3 from the publisher. So that is not their fault. They received defective textbooks that they could not issue to us. So everything else, they said that, I have the list here of everything that we have not received. There was a few missing items. For science, for 5th grade, there were 17 science books that were missing from one school, and then a few of the volumes of the math textbook that were on an earlier order. Those are also on their way, and actually those should have been received. So other than the science and those 3rd grade math books for those 2 schools, which was an over order, they have verified today, and Ms. Cockcroft has also looked into it and provided us a list of what is still missing. So we also reached out to a couple of schools just to verify today that they had received everything, so they all should be there now.
So, and that's much more comforting to know that these things are in place. I guess when we just rewind 1 week ago, there were still schools missing their K2 science as well from the 3rd through 5th. A good segment of the schools I learned last week were missing the book 2 of the math series, which doesn't sound like a bad thing if you're missing book 2, you start in book 1, except that some of our grade levels actually start in book 2 by their sequence. And so my understanding is some schools are just going crazy on the printing budget because they're photocopying all the math pages because they don't have books for their kids or did not have books until last week. So I guess as I reconcile this, it's maybe we're still missing 3rd through 5th grade science now into the 2nd grading period of the year, but the K2 science arrived in the 8th or 9th week of the school year, and that math books were arriving in the 8th or 9th week of the school year. So I guess I'm just having trouble figuring out, was that another district mishap or was that a textbook depository mishap? And so that's where it starts to get very complicated. I know that there was a purchase order for some amount of books the day before school started. I just don't know what was on that particular purchase order. On August the 9th, that was the day before school. And so I'm just wondering, with how complicated this is becoming, that is this one that our auditor just needs to go in and look at impartially to figure out when was everything ordered, what was the fault of the district, what was the fault of the depository. I just don't even know where to place blame on some of these things, and I guess that's one component of it. But the bigger thing is, okay, let's get textbooks in the hands of kids, because we're now in the 2nd grading period and we still have kids missing textbooks. And I just go back to fundamental responsibility of the school board. That's to provide instructional materials, and I feel like because of mistakes that have occurred, we failed in that job.
Well, I think that if we want the auditor to look at it, because I think it's who failed or how do we fix it, there's 2 different ways to look at it.
Sure.
And I'm not certain that the district failed at this point, it's just a statement being made. So maybe we want him to take a look at what the process. Does everyone agree with that?
Yeah, it's interesting, the math adoption is now starting. And so I had made the comment, like, maybe we could order them a little bit earlier, but the state doesn't allow you to do that.
Right.
You
Well,
can't order.
I think that would come out as well, because that would maybe answer a concern.
So when I called one of the publishers, I got some information, and they were wondering why we don't leverage the 20% that is in statute that we are allowed to order ahead of time. Is there a reason that we don't do that?
So it would be good work to maybe we can look at that for next year, especially if the delays are still happening, because we're not allowed to order until a certain time.
We'll get with Mr. Mott, and we'll have him take a quick, this will not be a full audit, but let's get him to do some of the things, and you'd be a great resource to get him started, I think, right? Is that good?
I do just want to acknowledge that we do have materials, that all of them have the online digital materials, and I understand that they want the hard textbook, but I don't want to leave the public thinking that we haven't provided them any resources, and I know it's not the same, but they do have their online books as well. And when I talked today, they have acknowledged at the depository that there was some delays in deliveries. They're, like everyone else, have a shortage of staff, and just like we do, and so while there's probably a lot of blame to go around, I think the main thing is, as you said, that we get the books as soon as we can in everyone's hands. We've acknowledged that, yes, there was some mistakes made, and there's been delays in deliveries. We even offered to set our trucks up there, everything that we could possibly do to try to rectify it as quickly as we could. And
So thinking about the other part of that for printing implications for schools, if they have gone through their printing budget because they've been photocopying, printing off pages from the math books that they didn't have. I guess we have.
We'll take
funds
care of it.
available.
Wait, they've already gone through $10,000 in printing?
I don't know how much they've gone through, but I've
they've
heard
done
that
that
there are schools who basically had to print every math page for every kid, or from a couple of grade levels for the first 9 weeks, because the books were not there.
I would argue that you wouldn't have to do that, but we're not gonna get into a
Sure.
pedagogical mathematics.
If the book's available online, why you would print every page is a little mystery to me too, but I think it's worth, again, it's worth
Let's have
Mr.
Mr.
Mock
Mock
taking a
look
look
at
at it. Everybody's agreed to it.
All right.
So I think we'll set the general 30,000 feet, just like we did with the facility use,
Yeah.
and we'll get a report and be better. Okay, Mrs. Luke?
I also wanted to acknowledge, I know I feel like we're saying the same thing, but it was a testament to the coach, just the number of people that showed up to speak for him this evening. And I particularly would like to say that I appreciate the support for a coach, and I think that we need to be very cautious about the rumors and the fire mill that happens on social media around our coaches, that we know as a board that they don't get paid much, and we should tell the public that they don't get, the amount of money that they receive for the job that they do is just like everything else in education. And so to know that the number of cases that we're seeing where there's some bullying and some rebuking going on around coaching staff, I feel like that we need to set a precedent that we have a human resource chain, and we handle discipline in a certain way, and this is definitely not the forum for it, and it makes my heart hurt that we have employees that have to come up here and defend themselves publicly in front of a board and in front of everyone else when it's an accusation that's been made. It's not even something that's come to our attention. I wanted to shout that from the rooftops this morning, was like, it's not even or this evening, it's not even on our agenda to hear this, but yet, I mean, clearly for them to show up to a 6 o'clock meeting and defend this man, he's doing an amazing job. So my heart hurts a little bit in athletics and competition. We all know that the competition can be fierce, and the challenges are challenges. If it was easy, everybody would do it. So I definitely want people to hear that we have support for our employees, all of our employees, our coaches, our teachers, our administrators in that regard. And I feel like we've seen a lot in people over the last couple of months, and to support each other would probably be in everyone's best interest. So I also want to tell you guys, if you're not doing anything on Friday night, it's Eustis's homecoming, but the highlight of the homecoming game will be that the girls are receiving their state championship rings during halftime. So if you'd like to come and celebrate for a state championship, don't laugh, that is the highlight of the evening for me.
Are they having a football game too?
They will have a football game, and I'm sure there'll be lots of other great things out there. That's it, I'm done.
Okay. Ms. Luke, I could not have said that better, nor will I comment, because it was perfect. Support of our coaches, except I know that Mama Hawk right now is very proud of her students and is supportive of her coach. I've spoken to her. And on that note, it's a good night. Meeting adjourned.